My name is Stephen Parker and this is another episode of Heritage Explorers. Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Parker and today we've come down to look at a derelict railway which was part of the Great Northern Railway system, and this linked Batley to Beeston near Leeds, and where we stood today used to be the site of Woodkirk Railway Station. This particular line opened in 1890, would you believe it, and passengers used to use this station until it closed in 1939. But that weren't the end of the story, because this little bit of track, when it were there, were kept open because there were quarries nearby, and would you believe that continued, that little bit of local traffic, till 1964, and it's an absolutely fascinating place. If you're in the area, come down and have a look, you won't be disappointed. I'm waiting for a train that never comes. Ironically, would you believe it's been about 3 years since myself and partner Anne came to have a look not only at the Sutil tunnel which is behind us, but just to see what we're left really. And it was quite strange because on that occasion I got pretty much to this point where I'm stood now. Obviously we're facing towards the tunnel, and I decided to take a series of photographs because usually I might take like 3 or 4. On this instance I literally went, imagine I've got me more, I went click, 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 click. And you won't think anything of that, because obviously I did that and then went over to the tunnel. But what happened is when we finally finished the day's filming and got home, we looked at these photographs, and I won't spoil it now, but let's just say on one of these pictures there was something rather disturbing. Right, as you can tell, obviously, and they stood at the front of the derelict Sutil tunnel, which is 659 yards long. Obviously it's not been used for a very long time. And what's interesting about coming down today, it's insecure, and yet the last time we came it was firmly locked. Obviously we're not going to go inside because I know you can't tell watching this, but it really does stink of methane. Yeah, many years ago they filled above the tunnel with millions of square yards of landfill, and this is the problem with this tunnel. If at some point they wanted to reopen it, you know, all the methane and gases and waste liquids is soaking through the tunnel lining. So I wouldn't advise anyone to go in, stay out, but what a fascinating structure, and it really is rather special. As I mentioned previously, a short distance on the cutting that way, I started to take a series of photographs. Yeah, and it's only when we got home did I really think we've got something here. Yeah, because I remember, even before that, I remember being stood pretty much where we are. The gate was secure. Yeah, there's a little viewing hatch where you could kind of peer through. And I was stood here like thinking, God, it's like deathly quiet. There's no birds. It really is very, very quiet. Obviously, you've got the sign, toxic gases, which is quite ominous. But what I'm trying to get at is, I was stood here and I heard movement within the tunnel. And obviously this side secured. The other portal on the other side of the hill is secure. But there was movement, I heard sounds within the tunnel. And I remember thinking, what is that? And then you know when you get ears on back of your neck standing up, I kind of like looked around and I just thought, I'm not alone here, am I? Something or something is watching us. And like I said, we got home, we looked at the photographs I'd taken, yeah, a series, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One particular picture, when you zoomed in, there was an orb, you know, which we thought, oh, okay. Bearing in mind, there's not much in the way of light down here, you know, with the shaded trees. But when you zoom in on the orb, which were at front of the tunnel, you could see ghostly apparitions. It looked like different people. And who knows, maybe there was a rail crash in here. Maybe it was the spirits, the ghosts of the navvies who built it. But one thing was for sure, cameras don't lie, and recorded that to this day. How strange. Well, I've really enjoyed exploring the old Batley to Beeston Railway, and it was quite fascinating walking down the cutting to the entrance, or should I say the formidable entrance of Sutil Tunnel. And I suppose what was kind of special, even though it did smell rather a little bit, is the fact that it was insecure. Obviously we didn't go inside, we're not daft, because it really did smell with the landfill. So yeah, really enjoyed it. And what I'm going to do, while I'm here, I'm just going to knock on this neighbouring property and see if they can offer us some refreshments like a cup of tea and a piece of cake. Is anyone home? Is anyone home? They must have gone out for the day. So like that, what I do, I'd like to say a big thank you to my partner Anne for filming it today and kind of putting up with me. She's done a wonderful job. Anyway, I'm going off, see if I can get a drink. Did you have a nice day today, Anne?
I did. It was very interesting. I used to walk this railway line a lot a few years back. So to find out so many fascinating facts and come across Sutil Tunnel was amazing.